Bananas. At this point in our program, it is customary for both the class salutatorian and valedictorian to present. This year, we have an exciting twist on our Val-Sal duo. Devin and Dylan Lee have decided to deliver a joint address. Now, I must mention that this marks a continuation of a remarkable tradition started by their sister, Jalen Lee, valedictorian of the class of 2023, and her cohort, salutatorian Ashley Lamb, who in the first time in Herricks history delivered one speech. Whether this Val-Sal address will become a new Herricks tradition, it remains to be seen. But what we do know is that Cecilia and Paul Lee have no more children. Yay, juniors, you got a lock possibly on Val-Sal. Dylan Lee, the salutatorian, and Devin Lee, our valedictorian, are not only outstanding scholars, but they are also talented musicians and athletes. They are leaders in our community. Their achievements as Sal, Val, and Bros has been celebrated not only by their peers, but also by pretty much every news organization in the tri-state area. Their warmth, humility, and kindness always endears people to them. In a delightful twist, they have become true ambassadors for Herricks, embodying the spirit of our school with grace and charm. Please join me in welcoming Herricks High School Class of 2024 salutatorian Dylan Lee. Oh, not to be undone, I didn't forget, but I'm trying to ensure that they both have their one moment separated. And of course, Class of 2024 valedictorian Devin Lee.
Good evening, everyone. First off, I'd like to thank Ms. Keegan for that wonderful introduction. So, we're honored to be your valedictorian and salutatorian this year. We'd like to say a few words, not only to express our congratulations and pride, but also discuss a little bit of what we've learned and experienced over the years. We're going to talk about three things: compassion, individuality, and time. You know, Devin, so many people asked me if we were going to do this speech together. Some people thought it would be cool, while some thought that we should embrace our individuality. But I didn't think it was really that tough a decision. I agree. Separate speeches will not be representative of our experiences in high school nor in life. And today, we want to be ourselves, and we want to be real with you all. To my brother, my lifelong best friend, and sports doubles pair, this speech is one of the last things I'm going to be doing with you. The next years of my life will truly be so different without you. I'm going to miss you too. But even though we'll be over 250 miles apart, our bond will still be strong. And that's the beauty of the relationships that we form as human beings. But not just for us as twins. Growing your relationships with others and being a part of a group with 100, or 1,000 other people is just as meaningful as being an individual. But now, we'd like to share a little story. And while it may not seem too significant, it has changed the way I looked at my own life and my interactions with the other people around me. Homecoming. What a night. There were streamers, confetti, and glitter everywhere. And you know those guys that are always shirtless with the body paint? They were there too. Talk about school spirit. Yeah. The packed crowd roared as we scored, and it only got crazier, and we actually won. But at 10 p.m. later that night, it was cold and drizzling. So, why are we still there? Well, we actually came back because my friend left his wallet in those bleachers somewhere. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of nervous as we approached the stands. Trucks and vacuums whirred everywhere as the team of our custodians swept up all the little pieces of glitter. As we got closer to this cleanup crew, we were met with nothing less than understanding voices, reassuring gestures, and a unique show of compassion, empathy, and unification towards a common goal. What mattered to us also mattered to them, as they dropped everything they were doing to help us find our friend's wallet. As we walked away that night, I couldn't stop thinking about that group of brave, dedicated, and very wet, incredibly friendly group of people we had just met. Yet, I never gave a single thought to them earlier that night. Yeah, I don't know about you, but I sure wasn't thinking about the long cleanup process that would come from the night. I was just enjoying the glitter as it fell from the sky. Yet, our Herricks custodians still worked through late hours in the cold and the rain, despite the little recognition that they would ever receive. Fortunately, the next morning, they found the wallet, and our friend's wallet was returned to the main office with all of its contents still inside of it. This story showed me what it truly means to be a part of Herricks, and specifically, our class of 2024. In our class, we have a deep sense of unity, pride, and generosity that I've personally witnessed in everything that we do. Let me give you some examples. In case you don't know, seniors historically do a senior prank after the last day of school. Oftentimes, it is something obnoxious or annoying. Yet, have you ever heard of a senior prank consisting of giving pancakes to teachers the morning as they arrived to school? And they were good. Every year, we have the Battle of the Classes, and one of the events is a grade-wide dance. I've never seen a more packed senior battle dance than the one we had this year. And we were good. And lastly, we have fun. I remember playing spike ball with dozens of people during senior sunset, in the courtyard in between periods, and even on random nights right here on this turf. I've met some of the kindest, funniest, and most caring and compassionate people from our senior class. And yeah, we've been through a lot together. Starting from freshman year, when we endured remote learning, where we woke up at 8 a.m. to join a Google Meet, and yeah, we went back to sleep usually. And then sophomore year, we all had to retake the world history midterm just because we collaborated a little too much. Yeah, I never really got the point of why we had to do that. Aren't teachers usually the ones telling us to work together more? But yeah, we do work together. As a class, as friends, with our parents, and especially our teachers. We'd really like to thank our teachers for making an effort to appreciate our individualism. Like Mr. Huang or Howie, who never showed a preference for either one of us, but instead gave up completely trying to figure out who was who. And he got a 50-50 guess wrong about 90% of the time. He even started handing one of us both of our test papers instead of trying to figure it out. And with this, we'd also like to acknowledge our parents for never playing favorites, even though they obviously like me more. Actually, I think they like our older sister, Jalen, more. Yeah, no, you're right. But truly, our experiences as twins have taught us invaluable lessons. If there's one piece of advice we would be able to give, based on our experiences in Herricks, it would be to get to know someone, for real. And that's the beauty of human nature. Everyone is different, and everyone should be appreciated for who they are, rather than just a prejudiced or biased assumption that you might see on the surface. The phenomenon of being twins has given us a unique experience growing up. While it does create the opportunity for amazing pranks, it's not always fun. Having to share birthday parties because we weren't recognized as two people with unique personalities and interests is extremely frustrating. These experiences have helped me to appreciate everyone's individuality based on who they are and what they've done, rather than just what's on the surface. No one wants to be labeled, and it hurts not to be recognized for who you are or to be called the wrong name because others aren't willing to make the effort to get to know you. Even if you aren't twins, I bet many of you have had the experience of sharing something that you really didn't want to share. I bet many of you have also had the experience of being profiled or having people make assumptions about you based on unfair stereotypes. We all need people to know us, the real us. Anyways, as we continue on with our speech, I'd like it to preface it with the fact that we're not really sure what we're doing up here. And man, I'm glad this podium is here to hide the shaking of my legs. While people often expect valedictorian and salutatorian speeches to be something eye-opening and monumental, with elaborate extended metaphors and long words, we have none of that. We are the same as all of you. Confused, vulnerable high schoolers, doing the best we can with no idea what to expect in the future. So we're not going to solve world hunger or bring world peace, but we can tell you some of what we've learned from our time in high school and the time we spent here at Herricks. We've learned about time in two contexts: time in school and time in relationships. You know, time, the thing that goes faster during weekends and summer break and slower during school. Yeah. But more specifically, we want to talk about how we manage that time. Time is valuable, and as we all know, balancing time is hard. From countless clubs, sports, music commitments, time to enjoy your hobbies, or time to hang out with family and friends, and time to hopefully get more than just a few hours of sleep, there just isn't enough time. And that brings me to a question I've heard a lot this past year. How do you know what to spend our time on? There's this quote that says, "Life teaches us to make good use of time, while time teaches us the value of life." Life teaches us to make good use of time. This first part is clear. Life taught me to make good use of my time, like going to the gym instead of bumming around and watching TikTok all day, or deciding to study for the test instead of playing another hour of Fortnite, or definitely not waiting until midnight to start my pig paper due the next day. But we struggle to answer the second part. Time teaches us the value of life. What is the value of life? It must be different for everyone, right? With this, we will share one more story, a story about values, a story about time, and a story about family. As people, we are psychologically wired to remember emotional moments rather than just details. Many of us here have multi-generational families and even households with parents, aunts and uncles, and even great-grandparents. And if not, we all know someone, a neighbor or a friend, who has been subject to witness the inevitable passage of time. Our grandma, our papa, lives with us now. She's 93 years old. While helping to take care of her these past few years have been great, they haven't been the easiest thing we've had to do. She has been diagnosed with dementia and Alzheimer's, a disease probably affecting many of you in the audience in some way as well. So, why are we telling you a story about our grandma at a graduation speech? Well, we've learned more about compassion, love, and family from her more than anyone, and we want to share a little bit of that here with you today. Watching the slow decline of her health and memory has been a humbling and sorrowful experience. We have to remind her week after week, day after day, and even within the same hour sometimes, that yes, I'm her grandson, and yes, that I'm Devin, and he's Dylan. She forgets our names, her own age, and even the countless times we've woken up in the middle of the night to her cries for help. She'll even talk about how she has to go to work soon, when she hasn't even gone to work in 30 years. And she's also been doing the same puzzle to keep her entertained for the past 4 years, and yet she still loves her puzzle. What is it like to be her? What is it like to forget the people you love? What is it like to forget who you are? While she doesn't remember a lot of things that have happened over the past few years, she does remember how she feels about them and about us. She may not remember our names or who we are, but as she holds on to me as her only support to stand, it is clear that she trusts us. Somewhere inside, she remembers the voices that have calmed her down so many times to make her feel at ease, and the happiness she felt from the faces that have laughed with her so many times as we worked on her puzzle together. Every day, we experience thousands of these moments, but are we going to remember all of them? Obviously not. So what do we remember? we remember the ways those moments made us feel. And this is going to be like our experience here at Herricks. We definitely won't remember everything, but we'll remember the moments that made us happy, sad, and the moments that made us who we are today. 5 years from now, we're not just going to remember that one math test we failed. We'll also remember the amazing time we had with our friends at El Higo Castle last night. We're not just going to remember the time we pulled an all-nighter to finish a paper, but we'll also remember the time you went out with your friends on a random Tuesday afternoon because all of you happened to be free. So yes, school is important, but so is cherishing the time we have with the people we love. So time will pass, and we will forget many things, but we won't forget the feelings we had. And this is why I encourage all of you to find your puzzle. Find what makes you happy, and live in every moment that you have. Embrace the priceless moments with friends and families. These are the memories that will stick with us long after we have left. I'm also sure we won't forget the sense of community, belonging, and acceptance that was fostered here at our home in Herricks. As we all go our separate ways to the class of 2024, we hope you won't forget who you are or where you came from, but also remember the fun, the growth, and the lives we all started here in this Herricks family. It's been an incredible journey, and we should all be proud of ourselves as we turn to a new chapter in our lives. We know our futures are bright because we are ready. Congratulations, class of 2024.